All right, I believe we're back. We are back. Yeah, so the airline move and travel move certainly connected with that value move we see. Let me just check if this is okay. Looks like we're good. Okay. I think that was just you guys. Let's see. Yeah, so bios again. I think we're gonna treat bios. So you can see this got rejected at the level. This got rejected. We're looking for that next move over it though. Again, if that does go 10%, but in terms of overall bios, I am looking to make a decision on them today on those short terms. Get out of them. Just to put that capital to use somewhere else because I mean those moves are very volatile and they're very short term based trades. Let's see. Out comes in at 21.45 or so. That trend line. This chart is wild. Completely wild. That certainly that certainly could get up there. Seeing the top of the list put more on. Let's see. Yeah, we're close. Hmm. Money into long treasuries. What's going on over here? Let's see. Looks like we're continuing this move from over here. That's tied into stimulus, like that industrial construction space, sort of like X. It's getting interesting. It is getting interesting. This Tesla candle. All this supply over here. It's probably going to explode. That probably explodes here. If if we break through on value, I think all EVs just start to go because this is a bet on a long term. If we break through here, that's a bet on a long term move, right? This is not like, oh, in the next few days we're going to look good. This is like a move that means no, in a month from now, we're going to be significantly higher. So even if there is a correction, right? Again, everything that's happening in the market is corrections. And so this would be a bet that even if a correction did happen at some point, it doesn't even matter. So that looks really close. Everything. So see, I think it is a little weird here because if you don't make it, then this would be the point, right? But we know how quickly. So again, here's like the funniest part about the way that we're trading now is that if there is a correction, it happens over one day, and then we're back and we go to the bull side, which is why I think the whole idea of not trading consistently to the upside and riding it is just unacceptable, right? Unacceptable. Trade it up, selling comes short, and as soon as you tighten, you buy more, right? You have to buy on that fear, and I think it's so hard. You know, it's a good example. If anyone saw the article about Renaissance Technologies, the greatest hedge fund ever, right? The greatest hedge fund ever, Renaissance Technologies, is just losing money hand over fist. Everyone's leaving. No one wants to stay in the main fund. And this past year's a good example, right? It's a really good example of how that trading style has now turned into, like that quant style has now turned into just garbage. It doesn't work. It only works if you're the only one doing it. As soon as everyone else figured it out, and it has volatility. There was no fucking volatility at all before. Just trading up for 12 years. Of course you did well, right? And even before that, right? So you got to be able to trade volatility. That's the whole game. That's the whole market. You don't understand volatility, then you understand nothing. That's it. Let's see. Let's check in on our friendly dollar. Consolidating down here. That's a lot of tightening. Looks like you're going to be bouncing back up. Should be coming back up in here somewhere during lunch. AMRX is finally going, it looks. Everything is making the same move at the same time, which kind of lines up with what we're looking at on that IWM chart. If these are all going, everything looks the same, then this is going, right? The average is going. Oh boy, guys. Is that about to happen? See you, Perma Bears. Perma Bears what? Stay in hibernation. Right, except they're bleeding out money. Poor Perma Bears. Feel so bad. It's like getting addicted. It's like you hate to see someone get addicted to like something bad, right? It would have been better to be an addict on any other drug besides being a Perma Bear and permanently selling. There's certainly worse things to do to your body. Or that's certainly the worst thing to do to your body. Can't imagine they sleep well. WW did continue. X is continuing. I think this move is a lot. See the similarity of these charts, right? This is, if this is going, then everything's going, right? Disney's there. Brian mentioned that earlier. A lot of these charts are very similar. Very similar. YOLO. Continuing to look good. It's a fun trade. BLDP, one of the most bullish charts. I think we're going, boys. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. We're fully positioned. All we gotta do now is make the right decisions. What I'll do with the rest of the cash is if we break out here, I'll go, let's see. Maybe I'll go into this chart. SRNE, again, we're all over bios, so we're all over bios. I think this trend line's the same from when we traded it before. Very close. New trend, it's the one over here. Okay, let's see. Come on, come. Oh yeah, so if this does go through, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna bet on a 1% move here today. So I'll put, I don't know, 1% or so into a trade that I'll exit today at close. If this is breaking through, just for the bet that I would expect another 1% to break through there, which would be, that would be a 100% trade. So if it breaks through, the alerts already came last week. Not much else to do now besides wait, I guess. Push your position. I think the next alert will be when to take profit, that's for sure. When's my next take profit? Which is the most important. It's the most important trade. Taking profit. We're not getting any movement over here with tech still. That's the thing, right? Demand is in one spot. Profit? Now, it's a little slow. We certainly need a breakout candle. We certainly need a break candle here. Now, it's 10:51. You do have time before lunch here. You still have enough demand, enough players waiting. I would say it needs to happen here in the next, I'd say at 11 o'clock. I don't think you can, I think after that you just melt. You'll just melt up through, trade along the trend line if you don't do it now. It's one of those things, again, the longer you don't do something, the less of a chance it's going to happen. Neo, we are getting points. Okay, well, it doesn't look like we're getting out of that position. Still waiting on Nova. What do you see happening with VXX? Well, I expect volatility to rise eventually. There's not a good way to, in terms of when you, it's like there's a difference between talking about, one of these charts and expecting trend lines to break and levels to hold. When you talk about volatility, it's not this is not uh, it's not a ticker that you trade. It's not an equity, right? This is just a derivative of volatility, and so there's no trading that's happening here that's affecting the price, right? Doesn't matter how much it's traded or anything like that. So it's not the same supply and demand. This is completely derivative based. And so what I expect and the way I trade this is that when it gets into this low, sort of like a support, this tightening that happens, you should expect volatility to rise. Volatility is this is extremely low, right? This is our COVID risk level, this level down here. And we expect that volatility will always come back, right? And so what I do is that when it gets into this low area, I put a new long position on to protect my other trades, not through a hedge idea, but just sort of through the covering of downside space. And also in terms of when bids come in, we buy on fear anyway, and so you should expect buying through this level up in here. So I put the gravestone short term. I do expect volatility to come back, but it's not. If this is again where I talk about it so much, that if you don't understand the math behind those charts, then you should not be trading it, right? You should not be trading it, because if you don't understand how the derivative works, then it's like you're buying something that you don't know what it is. Like if you go to a store, do you just buy shit that you don't know what it is? You just look at it and you're like, what is this thingamajig? Oh, this is cool. Let me buy it, right? So again, no one should be trading volatility unless they understand it, and I'm still not confident that most people in here understand it. So most of the time, it's just volatility is volatility. So leave it at that, right? Leave it at volatility is what it is, right? Don't screw around with it, because a lot of the times you've got no clue in terms of what the move's going to be, because I don't know what the move's going to be. We just react to the price, right? And then we have a strategy in terms of our portfolio, but it still has nothing to do with that individual trade itself, right? We actually lean on it in a different way, and we use it to understand. We use it to understand moves that are coming in the market, because we understand that algos will get involved, especially on UVixy. UVixy is an algos daycare, that they'll go over there when they're not trading something else, and that will actually let us know that there might be some anxiety in the market, because we're just trending and there's not much else to do, because they'll be over there trading back and forth, and we can see that happen. We can see it in the options and everything, that there's extra trading going on over there, very tight spreads, which means algos are trading back and forth for no reason other than the fact that they have nothing else to trade. That type of thing is something that is something that we can see and go, okay, there might be some volatility coming here, which is that tightening idea that I talk about, where okay, we've got some, we have a level of volatility in the market that's not being shown on the spot VIX, which means those derivatives should increase, right? And that's why we use this time to basically go along there to capture that move, which we're doing right now, right? We expect some moves. Now again, it's so correlated to the downside though. What's this? Tesla June's 1029s open for 5.9 million in premium. Okay. Wow, that's so cool. Okay, let's see. It doesn't, again, we're coming up to 11. We're not getting it. We saw the SPY take some selling there from tech. Looks like this move over here, you're dojied on the day here. Dojied on the day, up 0.5% on the SPY. Not much to gain from tech. I mean, these charts are exactly the same. See if this makes a move. Looks like we're just entering lunch early here. It does look like it's making a move. Let's see. Get some money coming out of the 10-year. I think this is the thing that's going on in the market right now is everything is trading in that supply. Everyone's got the same trend line, or everything's got the same trend line right now. So this is, again, I mean, the average is showing, obviously, the averages of everything. So everything is working through supply. It's just how much supply is here. These are all, every single one of these trend lines leads to an entirely new level up there, right? If they break. So I mean, you get these breakouts, you're going to get significant points. So again, if you're not even in a trade yet, but you're sitting and waiting for this break to happen, then you need to be pulling the trigger as soon as the break happens, right? Because there's going to be way too many points that are going to happen if you get breaks here. It doesn't matter what the chart is. It literally doesn't matter what the chart is. If it's sitting right below a trend line and ready to move, get ready, right? Doesn't need to happen right now, but again, if you're not in a position, then you gotta do something. Too many times, sitting around doing nothing is. There's times when being on the sidelines is good, but again, too much of it's not good. Got to get involved. SDC continues to be at this. We talked about this. It broke through the trend line, came back down here. That was a trade to take. Trade to take on open, right? I talked about it. The pullback. I think that's a spot that you can just take it. You actually just take it, and you're going to get some sort of break, something like this down here, right? This is inside bar on the day. I would just go for it. You get some extra cash, throw a position on there. Probably tomorrow it breaks. Or you can just wait till tomorrow, I guess. Doesn't matter. Probably just wait till open tomorrow. If this is going to be the tightening candle, then the next day it'll go, right? You can miss 1%. It's fine. However you want to do it. Certainly we're going to keep trading this. There's no reason not to take that trade, but I already got filled at open. We put the limits on Friday just to get the open rate on the support 1260. And I mean, that's a fun trade. That's a good 100%er. You get the 100% on your call, you're good. You're happy. You can go home. You can call your mom. Hey mom, made 100% today on my $10. I'm gonna give you the other 10. Save it for me. Those of you that still living in the basement with your mom, no shame in that. I live upstairs. Okay, that's a little bit. I think that's probably a little bit higher level. You've definitely leveled up. I moved from the basement. Now my mom lives there. There you go. My mom moved in with me. I let my mom move in. That's the if I get the place in Vegas, that's what it's gonna be. Hey mom, come live with me in Vegas. She's already out there. Come move in. Take one of the bedrooms. Got no problem with that. Be fun. Mom, I'm hungry. Give me something. All right, BPMC again, BIOS. And the other thing to remember is as well, just remember tiering. So yes, tier 1, this is over like an investing, like over the year type of idea. Tech is probably going to be the overall winner in terms of points over the year. In terms of tier 2, healthcare. Healthcare itself, the whole broad healthcare market, not specifically BIOS, but healthcare, I put as tier 2 for this year. You've got to be looking for those positions for long positions that, again, those you only getting on the higher capital side, those are your big trades that you put in that you're pushing over a long period of time, right? That you're going to get consistent value out of, and then you just want to stick with them, right? So a lot of these should look good. I'm not sure why I just talked about this one here, but that made me think about it. The healthcare sector itself. This chart, I think you got to wait until you get through the 108.5. Again, long term is what matter on these charts. You don't really care about consolidation here, but this is a good example. You don't trade a chart like this on breakouts or something. I mean, you enter it, but then you don't ever exit something like this. Like, there's a lot of these healthcare charts that we can look at that you're not consistently trading them. You're just pushing a position over a long time, right? Uh, you can't screw around with some of these other charts, or you can't screw around with those charts the same way. Neo did push through the top here. Let's go look. Are we going or what? I'm seeing flashing in the book. I get tested. I'm seeing different colors, boys. When you see different colors in the book, there might be something happening. when you're not one color, multiple colors flashing. Let's see. It's so close, guys. It is so close. It's a little past 11 now. This is the second test. I think you got to see it. You have to see it now. I mean, it looks. The bids are already above this level, by the way. The bids are above the level, so. I mean, I would have to expect that it's going. I'm not sure why are the bids up here? Hold on. I think we're going. Let's see. Oh, good luck, guys. Again, hold on to your lunch pail. This is where if you got a seatbelt, those of you in your little racing gamer chairs, because you're 30 years old and want to still be a kid, like me, but I don't have the racer chair. You get the racer chair, put your seatbelt, put the seat buckle on, put it on, strap in. This is what I expect you boys to look like. Here she comes. This should be a big candle here. This right here, if this is going, it's basically on the level. This should be for this 5-minute candle, there's about 430 left in this candle. This should be about the size of this. It should be about a 25 basis point move at least. Should be a 25 basis point move if it's going through. If not, then I'm not going to trust the candle that much. I would say 25 basis points for the candle. That buying through all this, that would tell us that supply got bought, right? You need to see that the supply got bought here. So looking for 25 basis. Here, give me 1 second. All right. Glizzy Capital is long F. Nice, guys. Nice tweet, Brian. You're doing great stuff over there. Not the greatest candle here today. Not the greatest, right? Sava up 40%. That looks like it's probably reaching 100 today. Wonder if this is coming up to the trend line again today. Some of these are a little difficult to manage, not really sure. Okay. This is really all I care about right now. This is all I care about. This is very tight over here. I mean, guys, the bids, I don't know if anyone else sees this, the bids are ridiculous over here. Come on. I really don't care which way it goes, but I would like to see what the hell is going to happen. See if we're right. And by we, I mean you, obviously. Come. I want to see some numbers jump off the page. Give us volatility events. I want to see points everywhere. I want to see my airliners put more points on. Come on, 25 basis point candle right here. 30 seconds? There's only 30 seconds left in this candle. I guess it'll be the next one. We're sitting there. I'm telling you guys, the book is disgusting. The book is completely disgusting. Completely absurd. There it goes. Are we about to get the 25 basis point with like 4 seconds on the candle? Nah, it's going to be the next one. Built into the next one. It's not even... See the price, how I couldn't even load it? Can't even load the price because the bid is all fucked up. That's 25 basis points right there with that candle, if that was 6. Let's see if it actually... No, gotta see a move. Gotta see a move. Of course, a pullback down into the trend line is important as well. You know, that move that we always talk about. That is going to be important here. However it manages to do it, right? That pull back in and continue. Now, the only reason that wouldn't happen is if you put a significant amount of points on. So that's what we're looking. That's what I want to see here. Is this candle just to continue? Everything to continue. We already know it's there. We already know it's there because it took us quite a bit of time to push through all those sellers. This all right here, this whole flat area in multiple attempts was all buyers trying to get through the sellers. We're putting the points on. This is going to be 1% from here. I'm telling you today. If it continues through. If it just trades on the trend line, then okay, that's just a melt. Just a melt. But if we're confirming this break, you should see it. You should honestly see it. That was a lot of sellers you just got through. You're still in there. You're still in there, but you should be seeing it. Let's see. Are we getting anything else anywhere else? You got to see it everywhere. Let's see what SPY looks like. Here's your SPY chart. That's called get me out of this goddamn tech. Get me out of this tech and let me go buy the thing that's actually going up, right? Let's see what this effecto is, right? This could certainly have an effect on what we see over there. What time is that? It's 11:12. See if we're holding this level here or not. Okay, that's the pullback into the trend line. So we got the confirmation quick, so that can launch us from there. So we did get the confirmation immediately, that's extremely bullish. You get the pullback. I would have expected a full move through instead. So, we'll see if that might change things, right? We'll see. This is right on the trend line. If we go over to the daily, it's pulling right back into the trend line. That's the trend line right there exactly. 225.90, so 226. 226 is basically the trend line. Let's see. I see red coming through. Bounce, bounce, bounce. I just want to see it. Dollar's not showing. Let's see what volatility shows. Interesting. Interesting move over here with volatility increasing, right? We've got the vol. We have the vol position. Let's see if we get anything there. Shouldn't. I'm sure that's just linked to the SPY. Sure, it's just linked to that. Because the correlation there is ridiculous for whatever reason. Let's see, though. Let's see. Volatility spikes. Now we lose some value. Didn't get the full move through. I'd say buy on all this. This chart looks terrible by the way. Let's go to 15. Buy the fear. It's an interesting move here. That would certainly lead to a pullback lunge on the SPY chart here. Pullback lunge. I mean, you closed all the way down here on Friday. Still up 33 basis points. Would like to see a full move back right here, like these candles look. I would like to see that just fill back, and then for this to continue. You can see on the 15-minute how much better it looks over here. To see where the trend line is, right? When I look on the 5-minute, you can't see where the trend line is, right? So on the daily, if you look 5-minute, it's hard to tell exactly where everything is. We're just in this zone completely, right? Complete zone. Let's see, let's like jump over to, these are so close. We wait. We just wait. 11:16. Let's see. It's early. It's early. What is our timeline on stimulus, by the way? Let me see. Are we voting this week or what? No. What is this thing about? By the way, ETFs have now officially doubled since last year in terms of value managed. Flows over fundamentals, boys. Remember it. Flows over fundamentals. The 200 billion. All right, we're looking for direction. Dollar's pushing back up. Keeping an eye on volatility here. You can see volatility. You're really just looking for movement, right? You're looking for movement. looking for movement, and then also rotations. You're looking for if volatility increases, does money start to come here, and is it coming out of value, small caps? These are the things that we're looking for while managing this position that we don't really need to be anxious about. We have plenty of time, right, for all these decisions. Everything looks very good, but this is how we're going to be managing it, right? Going back and forth on, okay, is money rotating out? Is volatility increasing? And based on that volatility, is the money coming out of value because it's sort of correlated with it? We need to know sort of the effect of all these things. Also timing on this trend line for if we do break through and put like a percent on, let's say, then what's the relationship going to be the next time we come back down into the trend line? Do we bounce on it or do we trade on it for a day or something? Like, what exactly does this level signify? This is a trend line. This is not a true level of. This is not a historical level, right? This is not a level of supply that we've traded on before. Price has not converged on here before. This is just a trend line that's been sort of traded over time through this last year. And so the trend line dynamic is always different because you never know exactly how price is going to trade on the trend line until you actually see it, right? We can't make up any sort of story here other than just reacting to it, building on it. So, it's important to see what all these different macro functions mean in terms of price, because again, we don't. If anyone says they know what exactly is going to happen, obviously you don't. Talked about it earlier when the dollar was down here, that the dollar would be coming up into here. Here it is. Nice job. Good call. Everybody, good job. So again, price was down here, tightening. This is a very typical dollar tightening. You can see this almost anywhere. You can see this type of movement over here, over here, over here, right? This is a typical dollar move. So we'll see what this looks. This is increasing. Volatility is increasing at the same time. So again, this is still causing some sort of anxiousness, and I think it's due to the fact that the dollar started to break back down, and just because this was sort of risk on dollar does not make this over here risk on dollar, right? They're not the same. It's not the same thing always, and especially on this move. I always talk about it's not the value, it's the move. This move over here is a little bit more, a little bit quicker, right? This is a neck breaker, this type of move. So this is not some sort of, okay, let's have a trend up, jumping around, having a good time. This is a pretty quick move. So we'll see how that affects this over here with the volatility, right? Take us home. Oh yeah, so when is stimulus? Stimulus. Democrats set to propose yearly payment of $3,000 per child. All right, guys, we are all going to be claiming a ton of dependents now. Again, you fill out your form and you put like 10 dependents on there, you'll still get paid for it. You'll just have to pay it back later. That's a free loan, upfront money. Take it. $3,000 per child? I'm claiming 10. Yep, I'm claiming all of you. We'll use it for the fund. I mean, it's free money, right? We'll pay it back later. Who cares? Oh, I filled out my form wrong. Sorry. I got to pay back 10 dependents? No problem. I already made 10 times as much. I gambled it away. I can't pay it back. Sorry. Sorry, I filled out my form wrong. I thought I had more. Thought I had more kids than I had. Sorry. Whoops, my bad. That used to be like the actual thing at work. I don't even understand why like you're allowed to just fill out whatever the hell you want. Like, why is there not a process to just confirm this before you fill out that shit? You'd be like, yep, I got 6 dependents. Okay, just put it on the form. We'll make sure not to take it out of your paycheck. Okay, thank you. I'll just pay it back later, I guess, right? I'll have the money now, pay it back later. Okay. What a dumb system. Never get a dime. Well, the government's willing to pay now, so. Yeah, I'll zoom back. I see that. Sticking with that position. I'm not going to give up on that one. I think that one is just, you got to wait for other people to see it, right? I think we talked about that. It's one of those things that not everyone sees it. And sometimes when not everyone sees something, it actually takes a minute. Right? So we actually entered over here, didn't get anything. We re-entered over here. The move came, captured it. Obviously, we're not going to take profit on this move. But you can tell that not everyone saw this, and this is because we sort of just caught it intraday, and then not everyone's looking at this trend line, right? This is the trend. I mean, everyone should see this trend line. I mean, it's kind of silly that, I mean, come on. If you can't see this trend line, then what are you looking at? But it seems like now it's coming back in where, okay, I think other people are seeing it, and so this is one of those ones that you just capture a little bit earlier before everyone else, and it ends up paying very well because you capture this move before everyone starts to see what's happening. And that's where we come in and capture things, right? And then we get to sell to the people that chase. I really expect the move to come very quickly, right? I don't think it's so much you trade on the trend line. Yes, we put longer term because you want to be pushing through the supply as well. You want to retrace up to here, right? You really want to get back up into here. You're going to get people buying on this later. As momentum starts, you're going to get the headlines that start, oh, is Zoom going to get entered? Is it going to get added to the S&P? You're going to get those headlines. So that momentum that comes on the tail end will have sellers for sure. Some weird candles coming out of them right there. Let's bring it back over here. We'll stick on the 5-minute just to have some fun over here, but really not the best candle to be using right now, so would not be using the 5-minute, but just to add some activity and action. Otherwise, you're watching paint dry. Okay, nothing really changing on the top of the list. Again, I still cannot find anything about stimulus. Does anybody know? Is it this week? They passed the budget last week on Friday. Budget's passed, so now they can pass the full thing, or is it already done? The whole thing's done. No, it's not done. When the heck is this? When is this vote happening? I don't understand why I can't find it. No, I know it needs to pass, but when is the vote happening? I don't see anything. I guess they just don't know yet, right? They passed the budget and that was it. Passed the budget. Maybe I think they're still trying to figure out who's supposed to be getting the payments, right? Whether it's like a $50,000 or $60,000 threshold. Is that the problem? I think they're just still trying to figure out who the heck should get the money. Do 50,000 and below. 60,000, that's probably good. Do 60,000 and below. Do 60,000 and below. Give the money to the people that actually need it. No, okay, yeah. See, 75 and below, yeah. No, you guys are just starting to pick your own numbers and say, okay, well, let me get some. Let me get some of that money. Exactly. So I should get some too, okay? What about all of us? What about half the people in here? Why can't we get some? We're gonna do the same thing everyone else is gonna do with their checks. We're gonna just put it in the market. No one here is getting stimulus checks. I hope not. I hope not. I mean, I think there's a few people in here getting some, so. But we know what those people do with their money. I will donate it. No, we won't. That's a lie. You know what I did for donations last year? So everyone, I had a bunch of people ask me because usually I will post like what I'm donating to, like for the holidays and stuff. And so I didn't post anything this year. Like I didn't tell anybody what I did. But it's because during COVID I was helping people with rent. So the same people that I think I talked about this before, the same people that complained about me not giving to charity this year were the people that fucking got their rent paid for. I was like, you guys are actually out of your mind. You're actually out of your mind. Get out of here. Don't I hate that shit. I hate it so much. Why do I have to tell everybody what I do? Like I don't understand. Like I do like to do that. I do like to do that, but it's like holy shit. Do you want me to tell everyone that I helped you out? Like is that what like why don't you tell them? Like Jesus. And also my favorite again, when we've been talking about stimulus, my favorite discussion of the people that complain that other people get more money than their normal jobs from unemployment, like if they work in like a rural area or something, right? So they're obviously making quite a bit of money from unemployment, right, comparatively, but it's because they can't work, and so they need the money to feed their families and pay for rent, right? But then there's people that don't make very much money that complain that they're not making as much people as on unemployment, and they're blaming the other people and saying this is unfair. They get to stay at home and get paid unemployment. I want to make more money too. And it's like, first of all, maybe you should go to school and stop working a shit job. And that's fine if you are, because everyone has to work somewhere. But guess what? You have a job at least, right? At least you have a job and you're making money. To complain about other people getting unemployment that need it, they actually need it to survive. Yes, there's bad actors everywhere. But to complain about those people getting unemployment and that they're getting extra money, are you kidding me? That's the same as me complaining that I don't get stimulus checks. Why not give me a stimulus check? Why do you get one? That's unfair. That's just unfair. I should get it. And then they go, no, you don't need it though. But you don't need it though. And I'm like, well, what about those other fucking people? They don't need it either? It's like, you're out of your mind. Oh, you're just in the perfect spot because you make 40,000, and so that's the perfect spot to get extra stimulus checks. It's like, okay, so the people that are making zero shouldn't get the extra money from unemployment. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Let's make sure to do that. That makes sense. And then also, fuck the poor and let's give a $1.5 trillion tax cut to the rich. Perfect. Good job. McKeezus, how are we doing over here? When do we do something? Do we have an idea, or are we just playing this one on how it moves? Do we have any idea, or are you still like all in on? Are you doing the the pump and dump scheme where they go, oh no, this is serious. This is going to be a life-changing product. This is going to be something that's going to change so many lives. So we're going to all buy it. Or is it like a real one? Okay, real. Okay. Well, you let me know. You let me know what we do. We're at like $3,000. We're at $3,000 or so. And that's the unrefusable fund. I'm not sure who's up next. Maybe we'll take a vote. When this takes profit, we'll take a vote who makes the next trade. It's a pretty good start there. Random name picker? Okay, that's a good idea. I wonder if we should vote. Technically, so if we do it like that, that's fine. The other way we have to do it is we would have to have everyone vote. Like based on, there's like some rules about some of this stuff. Since it's like a meme and we're just going through my money, it's fine. But I think there are some rules. I think it has to either be completely... I am not even sure. I'm pretty sure the way the group thing works is that people have to vote. I think that's like an actual thing. People have to vote on if things are being decided. Wait, what? Can you pop open the 5-year chart on this chart? Okay, I'm not doing that, no. That has nothing to do with what's going on. No, definitely not. Definitely not going to do that. I'm not even going to give in to the urge. That doesn't, yeah, but that doesn't matter. See, this does not matter. Like if I just zoom out, that has nothing to do. There's nothing to do with this at all. Nothing at all. That's what I mean. No. Anybody that acts like this has something to do with anything, no. This is like a very common like penny thing that I see a lot, is that they'll be like, well, see, no, it was actually it was valuable before. It's not it's not true. This has nothing to do with over here whatsoever, right? Everything, like, think about what you're talking about now, where you're like, oh no, the third trial's coming and stuff. Does that have anything to do with prior trading whatsoever, right? With price, right? Or valuation? You're not talking about anything price related. You're not talking about anything fundamental related. All you're talking about is a news event that's causing there's possibility, right? It's the possibility that something could happen that people are buying it, not because of anything that's ever happened before. And this is why I don't do these trades. I don't do these trades because it's all hype based and it's based off of what the next guy thinks, not what I think. So if I know more than you, that doesn't make me in a better position here. That's the problem, and that doesn't let me use my advantage, right? Doesn't mean this hasn't turned into a good trade, but it is a hype-based trade that if I ask you, McKeezus, where are we taking profit? What's our target? What are we looking for velocity? You can't answer that because no one knows. And that's half the problem. Doesn't mean you can't manage it. But obviously, trying to enter every single one of these trades, you get burned. Entering lunch here. It's 11:35. Entering lunch. It's going to be really interesting. So we have this level here, right? We have this whole level here that we're sort of trading within. We're going to need to see what exactly this move. What I would like to see is a little bit of a pullback and cause some price movement. I think you need price movement or else you're going to get no volatility at close. So this is where, let me put it onto the 15. This is where you want some price movement to allow yourself to get buyers to move through the trend for if it is going to go to the upside. Otherwise, you're just going to trade on the trend because you're creating this whole level of supply, and it's going to limit volatility and it's going to limit the possibility of move. So we need to see some movement for sure, because this is showing us how much supply is really up here, right? There's a lot of supply up here, and if we look over here, we can see money rotating from tech, trying to go into value and push that. There's an obvious attempt, but this selling here, I mean, this is going to happen anyway, because you've got the close from before. We're still up 25 basis points, but this is a typical move for coming into lunch, right? Completely fine. What we expect. Again, the question is how much from tech, right? How much from tech? We know it's not the best position to be in, but if and when volatility, or I should say not if, but when and how volatility starts to increase, we'll see how much money then re-enters tech. That's where we'll be able to understand how much this volatility, if this actually means the bid side move, right? We know this is reacting to that tech just selling right there, but how much is this actually related to this pushing through? Because we know that volatility just means one move one way or the other. This could actually be upside move potential coming through on the volatility. Holy moly. Something about airlines in the stimulus bill? You've got to be absolutely kidding me. Who could have saw that one coming? Crazy. That's crazy. Another stimulus bill and another airline added in. Whew. Unbelievable. Looking for the move over here. You know who's really going to get money? Who's going to get a bump? Is this over here? United. Since it's behind, United will get the points from that. I mean, these moves have already, let's just be honest. Do you think there might have been some ideas that stimulus was going to get, or airlines were going to be included in the stimulus over here when American Airlines made a 42% move in less than 1 day? The largest airline there is makes a 42% move. I wonder. You really wonder sometimes. What is the cap size? 11 billion. There you go. 42%. That's called like 500% buying. A few more buyers over there. Looks good. DXY back to break even. Bonds still losing some on the 10-year. The yield, that is. Let's see. We're losing some off the top with some of our tickers on the top of the list. Again, bios, we're using short-term mindset still, so as those take profits come in, that's where we're gauging, okay, is this the moment we take profit, we push to close? Most of the time we're being a little more sensitive. PRTS did continue, by the way, if you saw that. VFF continues. KC, keep pushing. Is there anything during lunch that needs to be managed? Don't really think so. Only bios. CGen did go through that level, by the way. Let's see. Really cute trend line up there, RVP. IOVA continues. That doesn't need to be taking profit. Pot stocks. MJ resistance comes in at 27 or so. That could get interesting. Let's see here. It's just trading flat over here. This is a nice consolidation if it happens up there. This type of selling is completely fine. The way it's trending. Actually, I kind of like that. Let's see. I think there's going to be some opportunities come towards close. As we take profit on some of those bios, use that cash for something. Again, it's going to be the whole idea of this over here. I mean, if this breaks, then that money's coming over here still. So that's priority number one, is that if value breaks through, then we're putting any additional cash back over this side. But seeing that it's lunch, get some sort of consolidation. And you can, I mean, we're up almost 2%. So we have a lot of points that we can, I mean, quite a bit of points could be taken off here, and we'd still be, extremely bullish, right? So keep in mind that even if price came back to the open, you're still up 1%. So that should not shake anything. And all that's going to happen here is increased volatility, so positions should hold value. If you see anything losing value, then that's likely you're in the wrong contracts. Or you're too short term, and we just talked about already that you had to transition. So keep that in mind if you're watching options. Typical lunch pullback. It's going to be interesting to see on some of these some of the top of the list type tickers, how much comes off those, or whether or not the average pulling back during lunch sometimes helps boost these numbers, which we usually see with anything that's got momentum, right? They continue their momentum from selling during lunch, which is usually where we actually pick up a lot of value on these. And you look at some of these charts, something like Square Inc. here has started to pull back with the market, but during lunch, this probably increases during lunch, right? Really like this chart right now, where it is. I mean, I think you pull back into the trend line here based on what we know about this chart, but you could get a situation sort of that it does want to try to come up here, but again, I think you're talking about a pullback into the trend line here first. Zoom add-on today. If you didn't already enter this position, how would you do it? I would say it's going to depend on this trend line here. Let me get it onto the 15. It depends on this trend line here. You obviously don't need to do it during lunch. I would say if it's going to close on the trend line, then you can do it. Otherwise, I don't think you can do it. I think you just wait, and if it opens on support, then you can buy it. You might have lost like 1%. But I wouldn't be buying it down in here, that's for sure. The market's pulling back, so tech's pulling back right now. If we come back up at close, and it's right at close, and I would say the probability is well over 50% that the next candle is bullish and goes to the upside if it closes above the trend line. I mean, even if it doesn't, I would still say it's going to close above, but I think you then have to, if it's going to close below the trend line, then I think you have to wait till open. You have to wait till open to buy it on support. So you'll miss a few points, but that's fine. So wait for it to close above the trend line, like coming into close, or if it's like at 2:30, price is moving above the trend line, then take the trade. Take the trade then. And then if you have to get stopped out, then just wait to enter it again come close. Like that might happen. Like we've seen it 100 times happen now. This price movement that goes up and through, it trades within it. You're never going to be able to tell in the options. You're never going to see this in the options. It's impossible to see it. If it's actually going through or not. All the options are going to do are bet that it's going. So if it's holding in here, then I would just take it based on the option price. I would trade it off of the options, but still keeping in mind that you want to be above this support, whether it's through the options or not. Like, you don't want to be... There is the chance that if it's closing below the trend line, that it's actually going to have another take profit candle here. It doesn't need to be another, so it would make more sense to wait till tomorrow. So that's where, like, if it breaks this trend line, I always talk about if you have a candle that closes within a channel inside that trend, then the next time that it breaks that trend line, then you need to be aware that it's most likely going to continue that, right? So sometimes you get like that 2 candle move here and then it comes back. Got to be careful. That one, wait till close to see it and make the decision off that. I'll bring it back up come close. I'll bring it back up. It's certainly an important position, so we'll look at, maybe 2:30. We'll look at it again, and then come close, I'll look at it. I'll jump on a little earlier. And that one, listen, you're never going to be able to perfectly time that one. That's the problem, right? The options are trading so far past it that what you could do is if you have some risk available, then you could just buy it. You just buy it, and that's why you had to get that position Friday, right? This is where I talk about you can't miss things. Like the difference between this price and this price here is 100% already, right? Let's see. Okay, we're at 11:46. We get the pullback going through. I like this price action. Consistent pricing. We didn't really talk about commodities, gold, silver. Trading along this trend, again, the dollar is making this impossible to know. Impossible. You've got no clue over here whether this is breaking out, breaking down. You've got no idea. Too many variables right now on that one. We get in this when there's less variables. When it's clear, okay, dollar's going down, great, this is going to go up, right? One way. When there's too many other things going on, you get this price action that you've got no idea. There's no reason to be in there if there's no clarity, then there's no reason to trade, right? Based on, let's see, based on these candles so far, and if Russell 2000 doesn't break through that trend line, then I would say tomorrow is going to be a down day. That's what I would say. So again, long positions, we push through that. But just to keep in mind for short-term positions, if we closed like this, for instance, without that other trend line being broken, then I would say that tomorrow would be a take profit day. That's what I would say. Volatility probably spikes up a little bit. Asia's not going to put on as good of a day. Tech will be better, right? Tech will be better tomorrow if we close like this today. But again, that's just one day. Where's price going to be Friday? Price is probably going to be up significantly from Friday if that trend line breaks. So, keep these things in mind because we have long positions to push through pullbacks, right? We want to push through these type of things. If there's some red days in here, we trade to the trend line. We want to push a position because we have a better average. We have a much better average. So keep these things in mind. And then again, it depends on your own positions. If you're just buying shit today, then you're not going to hold through a pullback tomorrow when you can just buy tomorrow. So these type of things are important because you got to keep the whole picture in place and not just care about the next 10 minutes, the next day. Where's price next week? Well, do I want to enter a long position now for next week then, or do I want to keep short-term playing? Like these type of things are important. And again, they're only things you can really answer yourself. They're only things that you can decide. Let's see. Don't really care about that. CGen, I'm interested in what we're going to do here on CGen. Really interested. This is a great spot to be in over here. So this price movement, that's perfect. That right there is about as good as it's going to get. In terms of a chart, that's as good as it gets. Honestly. You get the first rejection. The next breakthrough, price pulls back into support. That's about as good as it gets. I mean, you can't really, in terms of a level, that's it. You get the great bullish candle through there. That's a buy. See ya. Now, during lunch is a weird time, but I mean, it's already up 7%, but that doesn't really matter. It's confirmed. It looks like it's confirmed. We've had a few times where, yeah, it looks like during lunch it sold back through, but we've seen it. We can see it over here. You've got some context of what price looks like when it's breaking through or not. These are all opens. This is lunch. This is open. That's open. So maybe open is the play for tomorrow if it's not going to go right now. We're going to watch this one carefully. If it's going to teeter around and hang out, we'll watch the buyers very closely. I mean, I see a ton of buyers right now, so it looks like it's going to go bid, but it's possible that this one closes on support and this is a great opening buy, right? You want price to pull into a support and then you buy on there. So this is an interesting chart though, and again, something that should be pushed a little bit longer. Dollar pushing back down, yield still going down on the 10-year. FLG continues. JGR mentions AMD. Semis continue. Again, we added a little bit on here as well with NVIDIA on top of our UMC and TSM positions. Again, semis looking great. Overall, AMD's been bearish as shit. I mean, you can't really get this at a much cheaper price. So, I mean, you can play this like the swing over here. I would not be playing this long. This is a short-term position, so you should be taking the gains up to the level and then look to make a new trade. So you should be looking when if you enter down here when I talked about it open, or if you're, I don't know, whenever the hell you're buying, you're trading it up to the level with a short term, and then you're buying new above because it's a whole different trade if it's going to go long. Right now, you should not be expecting much. Should not expect much there. But you don't know, and so you pick up a small position, right? This trade, I'm expecting a move to come through here. Just expecting. Retail stores continue to do well. If you've missed this over the last week and then the month before, we've continued to trade retail stores to the upside. They all look good. You really can't go wrong wherever you're looking. This is looking to make its next big move. It made a significant move before. These type of positions that haven't moved yet, that's where you can sort of get your position ready, right? Maybe even over here on Urban, think there's some ideas here because of the way that it's trading that you could capture a move before it occurs. I'm watching this trade over here. I'm not really sure what exactly is going on over here. The upper shadows are a little busy. A little busy on the bid side, but you're not seeing it in the price. The movement. Again, let's see. Healthcare continuing to look good. This is an interesting. That looks like it's gone. I think you're about to put like, I don't know, another 5% on there today or something. That looks like it's. Was there a level over here? Don't think it was a level. It was just price, right? Price moved through there. I guess you have a little bit of supply in here at 17.5. You got a little bit of a level. If you break through the 17.5 here, then yeah, I think you can put quite a bit, maybe a few more percent on today. Close like 5% higher on the day if you break through 17.5 here. This is a very interesting ticker as well. Again, these help more leaning towards healthcare as an entire sector itself, right? There's a lot of different ways that it's built. There's tech, there's sort of tech health, obviously the biospace, therapeutics with that, but then there's these intermediaries and then full-on health tickers that have been getting significantly better price action this year, and I talked about that a lot, that was going to be the tier 2. So I like that. Let's see. REITs continue, values continuing. Shack back through that trend line. Not sure if we should take that trade though. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow on the Shack trade if it pulls into support. Not sure I want to buy it up there during lunch. It's not liquid at all. This ticker does not. I mean, it's been doing a little better, I guess, but not very liquid. Okay. Let's see. What are the chances? This is this is trading just within the supply still. So we're going to be basically using a lot of what we see in here as an understanding of how much supply is within. So you're still working through the supply here, which means that again, if price climbs on top of there, you're going to get significant buying. It's just going to happen because there's so much supply here that this is going to become such a strong support. That's what makes it so powerful when you break through something like this. This is the last stop, right? There is nothing above here. So if you do go through, the whole thing is all buyers now. All of this work that it's taking to get through all these sellers all becomes buyers. Whole level of supply. It's a lot. PRTS really continuing there. Okay, let's see. Where is this trend line again? TC is 44.20, 44.30 or something. Really have no idea what to do with that. SIEN continued. Again, healthcare. Vero with the pullback into the trend line. How should we do this? This is gonna bounce. That's gonna get interesting. Sava's doing the same. Those are all gonna go to the upside later. These are all gonna go to the upside later. So I'm not gonna fool around with any of those. CGen possibly breaking by 2. So again, this is going to be that opening buy tomorrow. We're going to look for that. It looks like it should hold on there. But again, we've seen this, like I just showed earlier, that CGen chart, it breaks back down through as it breaks through. So that's why we're waiting until open to take that trade. It's important to see that. Some of these BIOS are like, I'm waiting for the take profit on these. Whoops. But on the charts that are like this, for instance, right? You don't want to be taking this type of trade-off. Anything that's been in a consolidation like this that you're taking on a break, obviously these are new trades. So you don't want to be taking these type of positions off. There are a lot of examples. So for instance, like if IOVA, if you got this trade from back over here, if you're watching for a breakout here. If it doesn't break out, then you're taking profits. Some of these are very different when you look at them. Let me see, where's some other examples? So we already talked about the AMRX, same thing applies there. You should be seeing more to the upside. ADAP, this would be an example that it's already broken out. So this is the type of chart that you're looking to take profit on if it's reversing, right? So this is not full reversal yet. Not full reversal yet. You should see it if it's coming back down for a second time, then yeah, we're going to be taking profit on something like this, right? I mean, these are terrible candles to look at, but just from over here, this would be the type of area that if this started to pull back again, then okay. It's entering some sort of consolidation, even just in the short term, but you can't sit in February monthlies. That's not going to happen. So, I mean, some of these, you can transition and look for further upside, but this is the kind of thing that you've got through the breakout, that's it. Take it off. Take home the profit. Be happy with it. Some of these you can't be pushing. You can enter a new position and push it, but some of these are not worth the risk. Let's see. Pot stocks continue to go. SSYS, that position, just, I mean, brutal. Completely brutal. I mean, what are you gonna do? Hard to say when you get out of that. This is again a good example of, well, your contract's expired. Oh well, what can you do? Good example of why we look to try to squeeze every penny we can out of a position. You don't give up. Don't give up on a position. Another good example, right? That was the trade down here. That's the trade down there. Right down there. Here you go. Right? Just a solid 100% on the underlying, right? A lot of these get short-term memoried, right? A lot of these get forgotten about. You just forget about it, and then you look at it like a few months later or something, like one of you guys will be like, wow, I just looked at this chart and it's up 100% on the underlying. How did I miss that? And it's like, well, because it only put like 5% on a day, and you were only looking at the charts that went over 10%, right? These consistent charts are the bread and butter of what makes this style of trading work, right? Breakout, trade it, push it. If it never stops going, then you never get rid of it, right? Good example here. This is very much like those other charts that we've done, something like Billy that a lot of you were a part of. This type of trade, you just keep pushing it, right? There's no reason to ever to exit this trade unless there is a time when you need to exit it, right? And you know what brings up is like FedEx. Remember this whole trend through here? You just continued to push, right? Then it's very obvious. It's very obvious when something changes. Very obvious when something changes in terms of the trading that's occurring, right? It's very different. Supply and demand showing itself. Yeah, OCGN is up. What are we at? 17, Makiza said. How can we get this here? There you go. 420. Hey, we're up 420. Good job. 420. That's another 4,000. Baby steps. FLGT, by the way, Here's a good example. This is well over 4,000, so this trade has done very well since Friday. But this is a good example of this is a a chart that does not have hype or anything else like that, and that we have options on that present zero downside risk, and we're now up. How much are we up on this trade? I'm not even sure. Let's see. FLGD. Oh, okay, that's just disgusting. Okay, never mind. This is up 500%. 500% in one day. Well, from open over here. So there you go. Again, the power of trading options. Power of trading options. You're going to need OCGN to double up another few times. Right? And those 100% something gains that come from one day on options, to get them on a penny land is obviously much more unlikely. So the fact that we're capturing it there is obviously impressive in itself. KC, we're still waiting for. I'm really wondering how much will you wait and how to continue this position. I think a lot of this, I have February's on this. I'm not really sure how exactly. I don't know if today is the day. Maybe I just add on Marches and we'll just go with it. I mean, we already put some more over here, but I feel like there's significant upside here. Not sure. Okay, what's the melt looking like? This is ridiculous over here. There's so much supply in here. There's so much supply. I mean, now the whole market's doing it. Well, that's interesting. Let me get out. I don't know why I keep. Okay. Some possibilities here. If you get a little bit of volatility, this could break. If you get a little bit of volatility here, and these charts are almost identical. Just take a look at these charts, right? Here's the derivative, VXX. Ready? Now I'm going to bring you over to the Apple chart. Same fucking chart, right? You get a little bit of volatility, you're going to get a little bit of a boost with tech. These are so, I don't know why we're getting so much correlation between the downside and then that rotation to tech. With every time there's any boost in volatility, money wants to go to tech, but we're certainly in that environment. And again, that will coincide with if this is not going to break. But we're there. We're there. Oh, come on. Come. I wonder what specifically we look for in the book for this. It's 1207. There's so much trading going on in here. I'm not really sure. It's not like it's just 50-50, right? 50% buyers, 50% sellers, which is usually the norm. But I'm not sure what the whole point of what is the back and forth. Are we actually like rotating on a thing so people are trading? But like, is that what all this is? They're trading between value and growth. Is that like actually a thing that's happening right now? Like, what is this shit? There's like a significant amount of trading back and forth. I'm not really sure what that is. Seeing it everywhere. Like heavy amount of trading at one level. This must be this is certainly the spot. This is certainly the place where you're either putting significant points on or you're taking a downside move. Tiger with the 7K I missed selling early. Damn it, he says. That's a damn it right there. That is a damn it. That's why if he was in the chat, he would know that we just push positions. We don't really care. Especially when someone else is in the position doing it. They know better. If McKeezus was like, yep, take the profit. I see a red candle. Take the profit. As if I would listen to him. Let's just be honest. You got us in this mess. We're riding it. Diamond hands. I'm not... He said he took profit over here? I'm not sure why you would take profit over there, but... Yeah, semis are... This catch-up, again, that catch-up mechanic that we see across the market is pretty interesting. It's, you know, when you look at this move, right, and then the catch-up. Not really... It's funny that we keep getting the same thing. Right? Now, whether or not we're going to get this here, where's our... Let me put these... Oh, where are they? What the... We can't see the percent thing. Okay. Whatever. Whatever. That's about... I wanted to show this is about 15% to here. It's not like some of the others that this is actually like a significant amount of points. I mean, that is a large amount of points for, you know, 350 billion cap, but still, it's not out of the woods territory. It's a lot of buying, guys. Just continues. Just continues. Ooh. I don't know if we're ready. I don't know if we're ready. Let's get this prepared. I think we're going to use that. That's our next level of supply to the upside. That's certainly the level, right? You can see the top here, the wicks through. Now, the next is up through here, but we actually need to go back to the S&P trend lines for this level because it's a little bit different, but I mean, you could technically use this. We'll use that. But here's sort of the trajectory, right? If you break through here, you have a much wider open. So this is where I talked about you're going to get 1% through. And this area up here, you have a significantly larger range to trade through than over here. Over here, we were very tight in terms of trading range, which is why we stayed so sort of within this trend for such a long time, right? We stayed in this forever. This up here is a lot more volatility and a lot more upside potential. So this is see ya. That's 9% to there. That means a 10% move. You mean that's a lot. It's a lot up there. That is a lot. Oh boy. Do we have to strap in again? All right, strap back in. If this happens during lunch, oh god. Oh god. with low liquidity during lunch, Jesus, spreads are going to be wide. If we get a move during lunch, spreads are going to be fucked. A lot of points. Yep, AAL continues. Again, we're not exiting airlines. It's not happening. Not happening. These are the trades. That's why when people say, oh, look at this cool trade I made. I'm like, I don't care, kid. Don't care. UAL again, trading very similar to that AAL chart. So any of that news-based trading, it's certainly getting over here. JetBlue coming back from that bearish move, looking a lot more bullish, looking very, very volatile. Look at that spread that just came through. You see that? Had to readjust on the chart. These positions, the better thing to go look at is the options. Go look at the options over there. Again, this is not the best representation of what's going on in this chart, especially the save chart. The save chart, you can see how bullish it is through the trend, but go look at those options, right? This is where, when you talk about some of the other trades, like when I was just joking about, like, people talk about making money on some of these other trades and stuff. It's because they can't see these trades before they happen. And then when the move starts to happen, then they want to go look at the chart, right? Everyone wants to talk about it after the move already happened. It's like, where were you when the chart was about to break out and started to break out, and then we took the trade, and now you come in like a week later taking the trade, right? It's these kind of things that separate traders, and where you can see what people talk about and say, these are the trades that make a difference. It's these ones. It's being able to lever up positions and have multiple positions that are breaking, and to capture those. And then, oh, here comes all the retail boys saying, oh, look at my position I'm about to enter, and look at this chart. This is going to make significant moves. It's like, buddy, guess what? You're buying from me. Get out of here. But this is what you want, though, right? It's where people start to see it. Been in for a week. Already up. Already got my 100. So now I'm ready to sell whenever it's my time. And the options will always lead those, right? The chart will keep going on the underlying, but the contracts will start to sell, right? Stim talk, we can get a brief from a summary. This wrap chart, we're getting a lot of tightening. I like where this candle is here. Let's see. It's a little under 4% up to the resistance. Probably wait. I gotta update some of these charts. CYTK is back. Okay, what are we doing on this chart? Okay, let's see. 3150. 3150 over how many days? How many days is this? Like 40 bars. Okay. We're looking back at this. 3325. Okay. Put that in there. That move should coincide with the move from down here. Yep. So from that level from here to where price is now is the same move. So we're looking to make that move once again on the same schedule as this trend line over here, which, if you see this line that I just drew, is exactly this trend line here, right? Just on a different schedule. You can see it coincides. I don't think we have a good level to use through here. Let's see. It's a little all over the place, which does make it better. I do like that. So we actually don't have a very good, this trend line. It's much more breakout sort of rally situations like these candles here, which does allow for a lot more points. So this is gap territory. You're certainly in gap territory because it wants to get back into some sort of trend, and the trend line does not exist over here. It's somewhere over here, maybe through these wicks up in through here. These wicks through here, all the supply, gap territory. Almost like it happened right over here. That might actually happen again right here. That's the same distance. That's the exact same distance. I would be. If you haven't seen that position, we've been talking about this position here. This was sort of the distribution for vaccines, right? They're doing like all the little cooling packages and shit like that they're distributing. So there's like some sort of silly fundamental news thing that people were thinking about, and then a gap down because it didn't happen and everything else, right? That's what we're looking for. Gonna keep that in mind. Doji on the day, on the SPY. McKee's just loving his position. Has not looked at one other chart today. Hasn't bitched about Tesla at all today. Must be a good sign. Tesla is still trading on this trend line over here. Again, we're sort of waiting on EVs a little bit across the market. Sort of waiting. How do you even say that? That's a good one though. I like that. IWMing. That's a good one. That is a good one. Yeah, I mean, there's like no reason to ever not win on this chart though too. Like a good example of a chart that you heard me talk like 2 months ago. Somewhere over here when we bought. Here's the 4th. That's when we bought. You bought from down here. You really would have been fine doing whatever you did if you just woke up. Look at this trade. We're up 43% on the underlying since we took that trade on a fucking index. Do you know how much that is? Somebody use like the software or whatever to go look at the options from over here. If you bought, let's say like February 19th, February monthlies. There's someone probably in chat that heard me talk about this over here when we went all in on value and probably bought like February monthlies and today just woke up, finally came back to the chat and said, holy shit, I'm up 44% on the underlying. These are probably up like 2,000%. Something like that. I mean, I don't even know what these are. Somebody should go look. Maybe in lunch I'll look. These are probably up. I don't even know. It's probably like 2,000%. It's got to be. Maybe even more than that because no one wanted to buy value. No one was even buying calls. They were probably pennies. Probably pennies. Now they're worth like $50. Could be quite the move. Okay. Don't think we need to do anything there still. Okay. Are we ready to take a break here? I think so. And the other thing I was waiting for is if we're going to do this or not. But it looks like we're just trading on the trend line still. But I mean, this price action is you're getting a lot of the vibes that everyone is getting a part of the action. This like rotation thing that happened over here, I'm still a little perplexed. A lot of rotating back and forth, but like for the same price. So this volatility coming down means value, right? Value. So I think we can, X by the way, ready. It's ready. X should have a nice melt up lunch. That looks like a nice melt up, unless it gets stuck in the supply like the rest of the charts. Don't think there's anything else. I'm trying to think if there's something that we actually need to get during lunch. Look at that spread. Holy shit. Yikes. What the fuck is going on over there? There's no liquidity over here. Yeah, that's a must do. If you're not in that position, that looks like a must take right now, or else you're never getting it. I think it's already too late. me see if there's actually any chance. If you're not in that position, it might be too late. That shit's just gapping on every spread. Let's see. Last thing before lunch. Yeah, it's just no liquidity, guys. I don't think anyone's going to get rid of these. Not February's, at least. March's, there's zero volume, too. I mean, I may be one of the only people in this trade. I actually am the only one in the... Holy moly. Yeah. Yikes. Yikes. Good luck, boys, because... Good luck. There's actually no one to buy from. The only place you can buy from is the 22s. The 22s, there's 519 other contracts out there. Yikes. Good luck. This might be a good example of a chart that, since it's so low liquidity, that if you don't capture it, then you're never getting it. Everyone can go post this chart later and be like, oh yeah, see, I talked about the CYTK chart. And it's like, yeah, so do we, and then nothing happened. And then over here, we got excited again. This is a good example of, you see someone act like they traded this, guess what? They didn't, because there's no way you can even get into it. I challenge anyone to go try to enter this right now. You tell me what you got. Good luck. There's like 10 trades that have happened so far today on the options. I mean, a little more than that, but... The only thing that we have in terms of value right now are the 19s. I have 19s, and I have up to 23. 19s are up another 125% so far today from this move. But that's because the spread is so wide. No one can figure out the price. No one's trading it. That's going to be a fun one. That's a mess and a half. That is a mess. Oh, I just deleted something off the watch list. Good luck. We'll have to see. I'll redo it later. Okay, let's take a break for lunch. We're not pushing through right this second. Of course, as soon as we get off this call, we're gonna break through and have like a 25 basis point candle. Everyone's gonna be falling out of their chair. You're gonna be calling your mom. You know, the usual. Let's take a break. Drink some water. Fix your posture. Yep, Brian's mom trades for him. She's also runs his Twitter. Or that's his dad. All right. I'll see you guys at close. I'm going to get on at probably 3:45 or so. Maybe a little earlier, depending on what the hell's going on over here. I do expect that there's going to be... I think there is certainly chances for big moves both ways, and I think that some of the anxiety that might happen is rotation based. You might get selling on one side of this and then it goes over to the other side. Growth, value and growth, right? So I wouldn't get too worried if something like that starts to happen, but if something weird gets going on, then I will jump in. And then of course, we're really expecting big moves to the upside. So again, if you're not in positions, then find something to buy at some point, because again, you're running out of time. So I'll see you at close, guys. Enjoy. Have a good one.